What is going on, family? We are back getting into another request for another NF song today. Today, we want to definitely appreciate our friend Yulita for the request again. If You Want Love. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a probably different type of NF request than we've done in a minute. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's do it.
I just need some time, I'm trying to think straight. I just need a moment in my own space. Ask me how I'm doing, I say okay, yeah. But ain't that what we all say? Sometimes I think back to the old days, in the pointless conversations with the old me, yeah. Back when my mama used to hold me, I wish somebody would've told me. If you want love, you gon' have to go through the pain. If you want love, you gon' have to learn how to change. If you want trust, you gon' have to give some away. If you want love, if you want love, yeah. As a kid I used to think life was moving so slow, I watch it go by. Look out the window of my bus ride, I thought the world was so small through my closed eyes. I've always tried to control things, in the end that's what controls me. Maybe that's why I'm controlling. I wish somebody would've told me. If you want love, you gon' have to go through the pain. If you want love, you gon' have to learn how to change.
I feel like this song has like got a lot of like depth to it. Wasn't that, not to say that like his other music doesn't have depth to it, but there's like a lot of thought-provoking stuff in this one for me. Like especially like the chorus with like this, with every question that he asked, right? Maybe think about something, right?
If you want love, you gon' have to learn how to change.
If you want love, you have to go through the pain. If you want love, you have to learn how to change. The only people that typically love us in this world, regardless of how we act, and this is only some of us. You know what I mean? This is only some of us out there in the world. Not everybody has this privilege. Not everybody has this kind of situation in their life. But in most situations, our parents are the ones who, it doesn't really matter what we do, they're always going to still care about us. And again, that's not the case for everybody. But we as people, we all want to be loved and feel loved. But some of us also think that we don't have to do anything to get that. And I feel like that's the line when he says about like, you know, you have to like learn how to change. Like, in order to be loved, you also have to be like deserving of love, if that makes any sense. And it's not to say that you have to be perfect in order for somebody to care and love about you. But like, I'm talking about more like, I guess, like in relationship standards. You can't just expect people to love you just exactly who you are if you have no desire to change. Does that make sense? Like, you have to learn how to grow. And I think that's what also develops like more loving relationships that way too. Is like, you know, we still love you for your flaws, but you can't stay flawed forever. Does that make sense? Like, you know, if you know you have X problem, you still have to work on X problem. You can't just be like, well, that's just who I am and I'm not gonna try anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I feel I'm trying to also make sure that my words don't get misconstrued and say that like, you know, you have to be a good person in order for people to care about you, because that's not what I'm trying to say either. You get what you give in the world. Does that make sense? And if you want to get real love, a lot of times you have to go through a lot of pain to get there in order to even really know what that real love even feels like. Does that make any sense? And it shouldn't be that hard to like, you should never have to work for it. Does that make sense? Like, if you have to work for someone's affection and someone's love too, you're also doing the wrong thing. It should come a little bit easier. But at the same time, we can't expect people just to take us for everything that is wrong with us. especially if we have no desire to change those things about ourselves. I'm one of those people that, like, you know, I understand that I have like a lot of like mental health opportunities, I guess is the easy way to put it. There's like a lot of things that like are really out of my control in a lot of ways, but I'm like in a constant like battle with myself to try to not let that consume me or make me be worse than I want to be. And I catch myself doing that all the time, where I'm like, you know, because I'm feeling so terrible, it also justifies my behavior, and that's not all right either. You know what I mean? I think you have to be aware, and I think that you also have to, again, I think that you have to just try to be better, right? In order for you to really understand what love feels like, you have to understand what it feels like to not be loved at all. I think is also kind of like another part of it too, right? Is if your life was too good, you don't really understand those feelings that way because you've never been on the other opposite spectrum of that. So I think there's a lot of truth behind those, like I said, I feel like there's a lot of like to talk about just with the lines in the chorus of this song, where it's like, you know, if you want to feel love, you have to learn to go through the pain, and you have to learn how to change. He said something else, and we haven't even got to that yet. So, like I said, I think like every line in this chorus like made me think about something.
If you want trust, you gon' have to give some away.
If you want trust, you're gonna have to learn to give some of it away. My oh my oh my, have I heard so many people say that I have a hard time trusting people because one person broke that trust. So they spend the rest of their lives not trusting anybody else because one person 30, 40, 50 years ago broke their heart. And they never gave the opportunity to ever trust, to put trust in anybody else again. I definitely know what it's like to have a hard time getting over the trust factor because I don't trust people either. You know what I mean? I let a lot of people close into my world, but I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. Does that make sense? I'm still very weary. I'm still a very guarded person. I'm a very open book, but I also don't tell people a lot of real shit about myself. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand the idea of how hard it is to trust once you've really had that trust broken. And it's all about the baby steps. You give a little, and then you give a little more. But you have to start somewhere. And I see so many people that just won't even start somewhere. Because they're scared. Because again, you've been through the pain, but you're never going to find that love unless you put a little bit of faith and trust out there.
If you want love, if you want love. The older I get, I feel like I'm always trying to save time. Talking to the voices in my head that make me think twice. Telling me it doesn't mean it's wrong because it feels right. I'm scared that one day I'll wake up and wonder where the time go. Talk about the past like it's the present while I rock slow. I'll sit in the living room and laugh with kids of my own and tell them. If you want love, you gon' have to go through the pain. I wish you would've told me. If you want love, you gon' have to learn how to change. I wish somebody would've told. If you want trust, you gon' have to give some away. You gon' have to give. If you want love, if you want love, if you want love, if you want love.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have much to say about the music video itself in this one. It's not because I didn't think it was good. It's honestly because I just really didn't pay that close attention to it this time around versus really diving and paying attention to the lyrics on this one. It is kind of hard to pay attention to both, especially when there is a story being told in the music video. But I've watched a lot of sad music videos about hospitals. You know what I mean? It's just death, death, death. I got it. You know what I mean? I got it. I've just seen them so many times where I'm like, okay, I see kind of what's happening here, and I'm just gonna more or less focus on the lyrics in this particular video. Again, I feel like it's another vulnerable song from NF. I feel like that's kind of all he really gives us. Is a lot of like, I think it's what's great about his music is the fact that he is always pretty vulnerable. It's a lot of like, you know, kind of almost like digging into his diary, I think, a lot of times with the songs that he writes. So like, I'm always a big fan of artists that like, you know, just give themselves this way. I don't know if I have really too much else to say though. I think it's all I really got for this one. I would definitely want to appreciate Yulita again for the request. Be kind to a stranger, tell somebody that you love them, and if you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you.